What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Giant Hot Takes podcast, your home for the hottest takes about the San Francisco Giants. I'm your host, Jack, joined by my co-host, Jake. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the fourth overreaction off day. We're starting to make some strides here, getting confident around the podcast game. Pretty big homestand for the Giants. We'll be doing that. We'll break down the Rockies series, the A's series, and a big trade deadline preview with our first guest, Mike Val at Cool Sports Name on Twitter. I don't know about you, Jake. It was great to have Mike on. What was your overall thoughts about Mike? The viewers will see it here a little bit later.
You know, he's a very positive guy towards the Giants. He had hope in all the players. He doesn't like to give up on any of them. I mean, one thing that really stood out to me is that not only has he been watching the Giants, he's also been watching the River Cats and the minor league teams for quite some time now and really been catching up on all the young guys that are going to be coming up to the bigs somewhat soon, or if not already here. So, that's one thing I really liked about the guy. I mean, he's a true Giants fan, and he always has been. That's the big thing for him.
Yeah, no, awesome guy. Can't thank him enough for coming on the podcast. Hope to have him back on in the future. So big week for the Giants. Came in 6 below, I believe. I think 6 below 500. 6 out of a playoff spot. We start off on a Friday, big series against the Rockies, 4-game series. We were in attendance of this game. It's a Kyle Harrison start against the Rockies. Usually goes pretty well. I mean, pretty electric shit from the Giants in this game. What'd you see there? A lot of guys to shout out, but what was your main takeaways from that 11-4 game that was electric to be at?
You know, we were saying we needed to do good this series, and the Giants, the guys in the dugout or the guys in the locker room were thinking this exact same thing because I mean, 11-4. That's a great offensive performance. Although they weren't great with runners in scoring position, only 3 for 13, they still got it done. I mean, lots of home runs, lots of doubles. I mean, no doubles, but I mean, a couple triples. But I mean, I think the offense was really there. I mean, even if it was just solo shots or whatnot, I think they were still there. And I mean, Kyle Harrison, 11 strikeouts for the kid. I mean, have a night. I mean, Kyle Harrison's always got something. Whenever I'm at that ball game, the Kyle Harrison's pitching, he always seems to do something because I was at his other 11 strikeout game too. So, I mean, 6.2, 1 hit, 1 earned, 11 strikeouts. Doesn't matter what team you're playing. That's just an elite job from the bump. So, guys that stood out. I mean, obviously, Tyler Fitzgerald on his Linsanity run. I mean, he was hitting, after that game, he's hitting 330 with a 1.06 OPS.
Hit two bombs.
2 bombs that game. I mean, Tyler Fitzgerald was just on an absolute tear. 3 runs, 4 RBIs. I mean, Jorge Soler got on base 5 times. I mean,
man, that's a guy the Giants could use in their lineup every day.
Yeah.
Just impressive stuff from the offense all around. 14 hits. Like, it was shocking seeing that team in person. I mean, Jorge leads off the game with a bomb. We see the last solar power in California. Honestly, bullpen does pretty good. Classic Doval. We saw the light show for the first time. What did you think of the light show? And I mean, pretty brutal outing from Doval again.
It was great, but he's a nail biter every time he goes in, so it's not as good when he's got 20 saves on the year and we're in August and he's got a 4.5 ERA, almost 5 after that game. But I mean, if it was last year and we were getting a light show when he's at 41 saves at this point with like a 2 ERA, I mean, I'd be going in there jumping up and down, but it's like, all right, he's going to come in and he's probably going to blow this game with an 8-run lead. And, you know, he goes in there and he does Doval stuff and, of course, allows a run with a walk because that's what he does every single outing he goes out there.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean, it was a bomb. I mean, he almost killed Ramos out there. Like, you have some bad experiences seeing center fielders run into center field walls when you're there. He was at the Jung Hoo Lee injury. I mean, he's been at every big game this year, good or bad. Flash forward to the doubleheader Saturday. Pretty big game. Doesn't mean shit beating the Rockies once. Got the Snellzilla on the bump. I mean, do I even need to repeat this stat line for you? Close your eyes. Are you dreaming right now? 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 15 strikeouts. I mean, this was, I think, hot take for you, with the exception of a couple Lincecum starts in the Matt Cain perfect game, I think it was the greatest start I've ever seen by a Giant on the mound. Would you agree?
I mean, 15 out of the 18 outs were all strikeouts. That is the highest Ks per 9 ratio throughout 6 innings of any pitcher in MLB history. I mean, the guy was out there just dominating. There was I think it was 30 swing and miss pitches.
30, yeah.
That's the most in the entire league by 3 or 2. Birdsong had 27 in his previous start. But yeah, I mean, Blake Snell, the Zilla's back. Everybody run. Everyone in San Francisco, run for your lives. Zilla's on the loose. So, yeah.
He's back in town. I mean, you've been calling it for a while. You've been calling it since he was a 90 ERA. I mean, 15 strikeouts. It was a shock to see them foul balls back. It was a shock. And then I asked you, if you didn't watch the game, how did the Giants reward Snell for 15 strikeouts?
They get one run, and Walker comes in and allows a bomb on the first hitter, so he loses his win. And Robbie Ray got his first win before Blake Snell.
Snell has not won a game as a Giant. He's almost gone perfect. He's striking out 15. Snell doesn't have a win as a Giant. I mean, I'll go to battle for him. Bullpen looks pretty good that game. Tyler Rogers actually doesn't allow a bomb for the first time in a while. Doval, clean inning-ish.
One hit.
9 strikes. Offensively, just embarrassing performance. I mean, that's Giants baseball for you right there. Chapman has 3 hits in the 7-hole. I don't think Melvin knows why he even had him in the 7-hole. Patrick 1 for 4. Fitz 1 for 4. I mean, just embarrassing stuff again. Chapman went yard. Team run in scoring position 1 for 12. Just a joke. It's a doubleheader, though. It's okay. I mean, we'll see what happens in game 2, right? So we got Birdsong on the bump. Called up from single A. Hayden looks electric again. What'd you like in this game? Giants kind of cruised to a 5-0 win.
I mean, the dude's got 20 strikeouts in his last 2 outings, and he's 22 years old. I mean, the kid is up here with everything to lose, and he just dominates, continues to dominate. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs. I mean, what could you ask from a 22-year-old more than that? I mean, again, regardless of what team you're facing, that's just another elite outing. Another hot take for you. Giants rotation, best in baseball. I do not care. The rotation has been absolutely insane. There's really not... I don't even think there's one that comes in close comparing. I mean, all 5 guys just absolutely dominate. Giants, on this day, the doubleheader day, had 30 combined strikeouts between the 2 days. I mean, the 2 games. That's crazy. Crazy.
No, yeah, it's insane. I mean, I don't know if I can fully agree with that yet. We want to see it a couple times through, but Robbie Ray, former Cy Young winner, being your 5 guys, pretty damn good. I mean, they can go on a run. We've been harping that they could go on a run here for 4 weeks. Hasn't quite happened. This homestand was definitely a step in the right direction. Offense looked horrible, but I mean, with that pitching staff, anything can happen. Roll into Sunday. I mean, I can't tell you I expected a win here just because the Giants can't sweep. I mean, they lost the brooms at the start of the year. I don't know who took the brooms. It's like some Harry Potter type of stuff. The brooms got locked in the dungeon. The Giants can't sweep. And so we go into Sunday. Got a bullpen game. Was supposed to be a Hicks start. Hicks got scratched, thank God. Good things happen. Eric Miller start. A lot of positives from this game, Jake. Giants win 5-4. What'd you see here from the bullpen? Start with the bullpen. We can go into the offense later, but offense musters 13 hits. So 100% some positives. What'd you see?
I mean, it was a kind of a nail-biter game. I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs to the bullpen. I mean, Hicks out of the bullpen looked not good at all. I mean, 2 runs on 3 hits in 2 innings, and he was scratched after that is not going to go well. Bivens has been pitching amazing. I mean, the guy's got one of the nastiest sinkers I've ever seen, along with that good slider. I mean, Doval comes in and he's never going to do it. I mean, he got a save, but, I mean, no, he didn't get out of it with at least 2 hits and a run, so he made it closer than it needed to be. But besides Hicks and Doval, I really think that the bullpen did a very great job. I mean, offense, too, backed them up well. When things didn't quite go perfect on the pitching side of things, the offense was there to back it up. Chapman, another 3 for 4 night. Soler, 3 for 5. Rest in peace, Soler. Conforto had a little bounce-back game. You know, he's been still struggling.
Mightily.
And Derek Hill, I really do like that guy. What's your opinions on Derek Hill and that pickup?
Derek Hill, you know, like former first-round pick, 13, 14 overall. I don't know exactly. I could be off by a couple. I mean, Derek, he can bang some lefties for sure. I mean, his stat line there, 2 for 4 with a triple. He had a deep fly out to right. I don't know if you remember that. I thought that ball was gone. Hill can run. Hill can play some center field. I mean, I'd like to see Hill out there a little bit more, at least against lefties. I mean, I don't have a need to see Michael Conforto hit against high school pitching. Hope he's not watching, but honestly, I'd love to have Conforto sit right here. Just, I'm not mad
hit
at
him
him.
on the shoulder, just kind of correct him a little bit.
I'm more disappointed in him. Like, he seems like a nice guy. I just want to talk. Just want to talk.
Hey,
I will point out, you did not mention Randy Rodriguez. Got brought back up. Randy's had a little bit of a rough go of things. He goes 3 innings, 1 earned, 3 strikeouts. Pitched fantastic. I mean, the run was honestly a little fluky. Randy looked fantastic. That's pretty big for this team, having Randy back.
Yeah, I mean, I liked his stuff. He's usually been a guy to have a lot of control issues. He went 3 innings, no walks. I mean, that's what you want out of a guy like him. 3 innings as well. I mean, he usually is coming out of the bullpen. 45 pitches in 3 innings from a guy like him. I mean, again, can't ask for anything more. So I think that he did a great job. Props to him.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then, so that kind of wraps it up before the deadline. I know I was texting Jake a lot going up to July 30th. I don't know why we get our hopes up every year. Texting the boy Lincoln. Shout out Lincoln. He had a really rough go. He's got COVID. You got to say some prayers for him. I don't know if it's COVID or if he's just genuinely heartbroken about the trade acquisitions. Speaking of the trade deadline, we're going to take a break here. We're going to send it over to our interview with Mike Val. Awesome interview. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be back after that with some overreactions. Enjoy. All right, what's up to our viewers? We appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a pretty big episode today. Got a Giants influencer, Mike Val, at Cool Sports name. Go give him a follow. Awesome content for the Giants. Mike, we appreciate you joining us tonight. How's your night going before we get into anything?
Pretty good. It's always a little nicer when we've got smooth sailing after a win.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what got you into becoming a Giants fan? And, like, your Twitter account's awesome, great engagement with other fans. What kind of got you into it? Why do you love them so much?
Good question. Born that way. Raised by my uncles. So was going to Giants games since I was a kid. I'm a city native, so I've been here my whole life, been going to games my whole life, and it's just part of my DNA, I guess.
That's what we like to hear. Let's see here. Do you have any other questions for him?
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to introduce yourself to the viewers, I know we love your content. A lot of people who follow us probably haven't gotten to know you as well as us. So just to the average Giants fan, like, why should they follow you, or whatever you want to do? Introduce yourself to the Giant Hot Takes viewers.
My pleasure. Mike Kerwin. I've been on social media since I was 14 years old. My high school had a computer room open up, and jumped right in and got on the first sports message board I could. Started talking sports. San Francisco, of course. And ever since then, it's become part of my day-to-day. I've always tried to give back to the community by spending time putting out lineups, doing little things, keeping people up to date, trying to help the hashtag community form so we're all talking and communicating. And yeah, I don't know. I just have a, for the love of the game, that's kind of my saying. That's all I'm doing this for. Baseball, basketball, football are my forte. And it's just a pleasure to be able to help the city.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think us Giants fans, me and Jake, love looking at the content. Just your game threads are awesome. I mean, I don't even have to look at the MLB app. I know the lineup. I feel like you get them before the MLB app, so we obviously appreciate that. And then just going forward to the trade deadline, I don't know if I want to say disappointing trade deadline, but kind of threw us a curveball. Farhan threw us a curveball. Before getting into any in-depth player deals, what was your gut reaction when you woke up this morning or right after the trade deadline?
Okay. My reaction last night wasn't great.
Fair.
I was sitting around and I was thinking, well, we're giving up on Soler. And I haven't seen anybody hit a ball like Soler since Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
He hits it hard.
He sure as heck does. Um, the thing is, I kind of got over it because it is a business, and we were able to get out of some of the contracts that were brought in to just keep us interested. Um, Last season was really rough. The year before that was really
Oh
rough,
yeah.
and the owners didn't spend. But this year, we spent a whole bunch of money, and unfortunately, some of those players didn't work out. And it's good we got rid of them now, or found a better place for them. You know, like a change of scenery. And as far as what we got in return, got an 18-year-old, and we got a 21-year-old, and a guy who's recovering from Tommy John surgery from the trades. That gives us hope. I was checking. I heard through word of text, Fangraphs had the Sabalos, I believe his name was. Could be wrong. Sabin
Yeah. Yeah.
had him ranked as their 14th prospect in their farm system.
Yeah, he's like a third round pick, nothing too special. I mean, you would have liked something a little bit more out of a guy like Jorge Soler, who's kind of been heating up recently. But I mean, at least we got rid of Luke
Yeah,
Jackson. I'm not a fan of him. I don't know if you are.
Jackson's
no,
gone.
agree.
Yeah.
Uh, the whole city. I mean, we all had a hard time with Luke Jackson, and it was tough. He did have the great interview when the season started, and something happened with his back. So, something was lost there. And his last four starts, or appearances, excuse me, he was really providing some umph. He was getting it up to 97. He was throwing strikes. He was getting people out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that helped us trade him, which is actually a 2-year contract, 11.7,
Yeah.
7,500 or whatnot.
Steep.
But that's steep, and that's the business side. It's like relationships shouldn't be on that part of it. But what I'm thinking is, as far as the deadline goes, a lot of people might be disappointed because we didn't get anybody. And who am I to say that there wasn't a few guys out there that could have helped this team this season? But what I do see that I want to give some people some hope about is that we have some opportunity here for our young guys that I've been watching since 3 years ago. I bought the MILB package, and I was watching the Richmond Flying Squirrels on a daily basis
It's
and the
great.
Giants game at night with my dad. And it was maddening, but it was great at the same time. So we've got guys in our lineup, and I got a few cards I want to float up in front of the screen here for you. But I went out and bought some baseball cards of theirs. Just hopeful because I believed in them. The David VRs of the world, with him being 27 years old and having a rough go of it last year, and really performing for the last 3 years.
Yeah, no,
And
he's having a really good year this year. Who's your favorite Richmond Flying Squirrel you've seen play in the Flying Squirrel uniform?
my favorite flying squirrel would probably be VR.
VR?
Yeah, he. The funny thing about that is, I always saw him go up to the bat with the bases loaded. And every time I'm cheering for a grand slam, right? We all want to see grand slam sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
But he got base hits every time. He hit it where they ain't. And it kind of helped me like calm down on my aspirations for our own players.
That's
And
fair.
just see it from a a little bit more mature perspective.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so if you had to give it A to F grade this trade deadline, everything considered, the Cobb deal, the salary dump, compared to your expectations, A to F for me, Mike.
Um, Good one. I give it a C.
See,
There.
there's some
Reason
hope.
being, when I woke up this morning, I heard that Vladimir Guerrero was sought after by the Giants.
Of course he was, right?
He was the only player sought after by the Giants.
Of course, just doesn't pull through as
And
always.
and and, and yeah, and no big deal, right? We all checked the standings at some point this year and
Oh,
saw
yeah.
that Toronto was in a tough division.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. I
Real
texted
tough.
Jake that Fleming quote this morning and was like, I'd almost rather not hear that information. Like, it was brutal.
Yeah,
What would you grade that deadline, Jake?
I'd have to give it. I mean, I'd probably say more on the D side of things, just because I mean, Soler was starting to heat up a little bit, and we kind of just let him go. Didn't really let him build off of. I mean, his first year as a Giant, every player's going to start with a struggle. It happens. I mean, and he started to kind of build back up. He wasn't hitting for power, but he was still getting on base, and that's what you need out of a leadoff guy. And I like getting rid of Luke Jackson, but what we got in return for what we gave up, I just don't really feel like it's what it's worth, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I I could look at the trade for trade and agree with you like wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, we're sitting, what was it at the deadline? 3.5 games out. And it's like, we trade Soler, what was it? Monday night, and it was like, okay, like we can do something. It's a salary dump, and of course, I think Farhan plays us like a fiddle on purpose. I think he gets some enjoyment out of it. You dump the contract for Soler, it's like, oh shit, like we're getting a big guy, we're getting Vlad, clearing up the money, and then we end up with Mark Canna, awesome Bay Area guy, but it's like, I mean that it does not fire me up getting Mark Canna to the team. It'll be an upgrade, but it's not going to carry this team to a playoff spot. I mean that's the end goal, right?
Yeah, I think Hannah. I think Hannah and was brought in to help our man Wilmer Flores uh, take a vacation. Um, I'll be upfront with it. He's been going down to one knee he was
Beltra,
I
like
don't know, like
without the
he was
home
playing
runs.
the sport or something, or just all season long. And there's some tendonitis there, and he's done so much over the past few years that there's not a bad word I could say about the guy, and I'm glad we didn't seek to move him at the deadline because he was the Willie Mack Award winner, and last year he almost won the Willie Mack again. But I'll tell you, one night during the 2022 season, um, I saw him in the dugout after maybe a rough week of baseball for the Giants, and I saw him drop an F bomb. You know, it was just not Wilmer, but all the effort he put into this team to help some of the younger players develop and the professional attitude he's carried with him. Uh, we got to give him time to compete with VR. Say VR and Flores are around in spring training next year, or he comes back this year. Time to compete for some playing time and his job, because that's just our guy, right?
100%. I mean, he's good. Great year last year. I mean, what do you think about Flores? I personally think it's awesome guy. It's a dugout guy. It'd be cool to have him get starts if we're 10 games above 500, but I just don't know that we can afford to give a guy at-bats hitting 200. What do you think about that?
I mean, he doesn't have a lot of tools that you need out of a player. I mean, he's not really that fast. He's a decent fielder. He doesn't have much of an arm. I mean, you don't really need one at first, but he doesn't have that. He hasn't been seeing the ball well lately, as you said. He's hitting 200, and he hasn't been hitting the ball very far as well. He's just kind of getting older slowly. I mean, last year he was destroying the ball. This year, not so much. I mean, there's not really much you can do other than give him some time, either playing down or just let him go, because he's kind of holding down a spot right now that we're in need of.
Understood.
Yeah, it just stinks because I think every Giants fan loves Flores, right? But it's like at a certain point, at least for me. I mean, obviously you love Flores, awesome guy, right? But for me, trying to take the level-headed out of it, it's like we're struggling right now, Mike. Like I think I don't want to part ways with him. I think these DL or these IL stints could be good. I mean, what would you do with Flores? Because he's an awesome Giant.
Well, if I really knew what was going on, I'd be able to say more. But what I have said regarding him is if he needs a surgery on his knee, go ahead, take a vacation, get your surgery, be prepared for spring training. We have we're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. But we brought in Marcana. And we have David Villar, who is in his last opportunity to prove himself. So what I'd expect is reasonably them to look at that situation and say, if you're hurt, we'll put you on the IL for the rest of the year. And we'll keep the 40-man roster spot for you if that's how it works. I'm not an expert on that.
Yeah. And completely agree. That kind of wraps up the segment, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in to this segment. Mike, can't thank you enough. Go follow him on Twitter at Cool Sports Name. Is that correct on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm glad to help. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Go follow him there. Awesome content. Honestly, best game threads in the game. We look forward to hopefully having you back on eventually, Mike, and just thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a lovely evening.
Have a great night. Go Giants. All right, what's up, guys? We're back. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Mike. We had a blast with Mike. Mike, hope you're watching right now. Everybody, we've said it a couple times. Go follow him at Cool Sports Name. His link to his Twitter is going to be in the description. I mean, awesome conversation with Mike, right? Yeah. Awesome Giants intel.
Yeah, I mean, great guy, as we discussed earlier before. He's a true Giants fan. He's been a fan his whole life, and he knows his stuff. And he's definitely a loyal fan. Great guy. He knows his stuff.
Yeah, awesome guy. We hope to get some more guest segments on there like Mike. Would love to have Mike back. But if you want to hop on the podcast, just slide in our DMs, comment on this video. We'd love to have you on. We want to make this a safe haven to air out some hot takes and frustrations with the Giants. Speaking of hot takes, here we go. Overreaction off day. Jake, first topic, who are you overreacting with?
I really hated the trade on Jorge Soler. That's one thing. Since we're talking kind of starting into the trade deadline here, he was looking so good during that home stretch. Getting on base majority of the time. What do you want more from a guy like him that can hit the ball 480 feet and then can get on base like that? He's only on the come up from this point on, I think. Just why?
No, he's
why?
That's just the thought circling every offseason. Why?
If we're going to do it, we got to get something in return. we didn't really get much in return. We got some third-round bum, the 14th prospect for the Braves.
I don't even know if he was that high,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know that he was top 20.
I mean,
it depends on the website.
Yeah, I mean, when we got rid of Luke Jackson, good.
Yeah.
But Tyler Matzik, really, dude? Of all people.
I mean, yeah,
So-
Jorge just brought a lot. I mean, he was not hot yet, man, but he was getting there. I mean, he brought so much to this team. I mean, the Giants are kind of known for washed white guys, like just past their prime. And yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. I was okay that night just because I thought something else was coming, but nothing else came. I mean, are you at least? I mean, at least you're excited to see Luciano, right? But why can't you have both?
You know, it's a great question. And because of this, I really hope Patrick Bailey's DHing every single night he's not catching, because it's not going to cut it when he doesn't go in there and he's sitting here with 230 at-bats in August. So the guy's got to get his at-bats. He's a hitter. Put him in the game. I don't care. Put him in the game. If you're gonna start Casali every other night, then Bailey better be in that lineup too, hitting fourth or third. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, if you're going to get rid of Soler, have the right guy DHing. Luciano, I mean, obviously should be in there when Bailey's catching. But yeah, I mean, he's looked great, but Patrick Bailey, I mean, he's a hitter. He's a hitter for
It's
sure.
totally okay to play your 22-year-old top prospect in the field too. So I don't know why we're making him a DH at 22. That's a conversation for a different episode. He can play corners, he can play first, he's a shortstop, 22-year-old shortstop that is top 100 prospect. I think he was top 25 at one point.
Top 8 at one point.
Yeah, top 8 in the MLB. So he's got all-star potential. At least we're getting him at bats. I'm going to roll it in. I mean, it's been a really positive episode. We appreciate you guys staying with us through this really tough stretch of baseball. But it's been really positive. 5-1 homestand. We'll get into the A's games later. But Tyler Fitzgerald, I mean, 51 ABs in his last 15 games. 8 bombs. We saw 2 of them. I mean, that guy's brought some electric juice to this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, said it last week. He can hit the fastball. Continues to hit the fastball. The off-speed's been a little bit of a struggle, but, I mean, that's where a lot of the other guys in the lineup have their strengths. So, I mean, yeah, this guy can swing it, man. He really can. And along with that speed, he's a legit player. I mean, he's going through a little bit of a struggle through his last 7 games, hitting 233. But, I mean, his speed and his ability to play, I mean, I think that he's just going to be a great guy for a team. I mean, he's young, too. I think he's got a lot to prove, but I think he's already proven a good amount. So
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, speed doesn't slump, as we say. Granted, we don't use speed. I was joking with him before this. If we had Usain Bolt on first base, I don't think we'd steal second. Just my opinion.
No,
Watch the Giants
first is
play.
better.
I mean, it's freaking...
it's a circus.
As he said, we'll get into the circus later. The circus is back in town in San Francisco. We'll go over a couple of our acts tonight and in this series, but steal some bags, Melvin. I appreciated Ramos getting...
Thrown out trying.
Yeah, he got thrown out trying to steal, and then he actually got thrown out in the 7th. Appreciated both.
Yeah, but Melvin's PG-13 reaction wasn't very fun either.
Yeah, no, I mean, Melvin, he gets tossed a lot. I mean, just, it's Ramos. Go stand up for your guy. Go into a little bit more negative. Hate to be negative after a 5-1 homestand. Hicks. What do you think about Hicks?
Hicks. You know, this is what I've been saying. I've been texting you this probably 40 times a day. You either throw 105 and throw it wild, or you throw it 93 and you never throw a ball. There is no in between. I was pulling up clips of you throwing 105 for like 9 straight pitches. Everyone's got their jaws to the floor, and now you're out here just trying to move your sinker, get all the spit you can on your ball like you're 43, like Rich Hill. Like, no. Throw the ball hard and throw it at their heads, or you throw it like Greg Maddux. There's no in between. If you're taking 10 miles, 15 miles an hour off on your fastball, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to dot it every single time.
Seriously.
So, yeah, that's all I got to say about him.
He should be throwing 102, 103, and he should take Doval's spot freaking immediately if he's doing that. You can't sit throwing 91, 92. I mean, I don't know of a bullpen arm
Who do you want to message?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Siri. I mean, hey, Siri, turn off. Appreciate you guys. I mean, Siri is not a big Jordan Hicks guy either. Siri completely agrees that we need to be throwing hard out of the bullpen. That just threw me off a little bit. Sorry about that. Hicks, he needs some work. Still got some confidence. Going back to positive, and the overreaction's positive. I mean, this pitching staff is the best in the league. You said it. What are the numbers looking like the last 3 games?
Snell, in his last 4 starts, 24 innings, .75 ERA, 30 Ks, one of games which we're playing the Dodgers, who have one of the best offenses in the league. The dude's electric, and he's going to continue to stay that way.
Snellzilla.
Birdsong in his last 4 starts. 20.2 innings pitched, 2.18 ERA, with 28 strikeouts, right behind Snell. This guy's 22 years old, and he's putting up numbers like this. Yeah, he doesn't deserve to be in single A, I'll tell you that. And Harrison's last 3 starts, 17 innings pitched, 1.06 ERA with 20 strikeouts. I mean, these 3 guys are looking electric. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, and we also got Webb and Ray next to these guys. I mean, is there going to be any point where they're going to stop doing this? Or is this just going to be the greatest rotation we're going to see for a long time? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, so Webb, we haven't got into the A's games. It's coming right after this, but we got to shut it up before we get into it. Webb, literally, what time is it? It's 10:25. Webb 2 hours ago finishes a complete game shutout. I mean, Logan Webb, we've harped on, we haven't bagged on him a little bit, but we've kind of called out what we've seen from Webb. I think he'd appreciate it just because it's Logan Webb. Oh, I would say the best competitor in the entire MLB. I mean, Webb is back. How awesome was that to see? I mean, I would go to war for Logan Webb.
He's the only traditional pitcher we got left in this entire league. He's a guy you'll see go 120 pitches. I mean, if it takes that, if he's going. I mean, the dude, he's got the most 7+ inning starts this year, even with a couple down days. I mean, the guy is just, he's got so much grit to be out there and just do what he can for the team. He doesn't like to be, I mean, once he goes out there, he's full throttle. I mean, all gas, no brakes for the guy. So, I mean, I think that he's just going to continue to be great for us. I mean, he's always the reliable guy out there. I mean, yeah, Logan Webb, man. I mean, he's going to be a future Cy Young. You can clip that. I mean, he'll be a future Cy Young.
100%. I mean, his numbers will never... He's not one of those guys, his numbers will ever jump off the page like a Snell 15 Ks or a 2 flat ERA. But he's a guy, if you haven't watched Logan Webb, which is a Giants podcast, I'm sure you have, and you see if your box score reading 3.3 ERA, 3.5 ERA, I encourage you to go out and watch Logan Webb pitch for a full game. I mean, he pitched that game in under 2 hours. He's out there grunting every pitch. He's so ballsy. I mean, I would run through a wall for Logan Webb. It's firing me up right now. I mean, that is just the greatest guy in the league. Ultimate Giant, face of our franchise. Can't say enough about him. I mean, I just find it hard to believe that going down this stretch, I don't know how many games we have left. I think it's under 60. You got a 5-man rotation. Webb 1, Snell 2, 3 Harrison, 4 Birdsong, 5 Ray. I mean, unless the offense shits the bed like they did this series, how are we going to lose in any 5-game week more than seriously 2 games?
There's just not a chance. I mean, there's no rotation that's as deep as the Giants right now. As long as the offense stays in a somewhat mediocre position, there's no stopping, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and I mean, they're not in a somewhat decent position is the problem. So we roll into the A's series post-deadline, pretty freaking deflating. I mean, I wasn't heartbroken because I've been hurt a lot by teams in the past. I mean, the Giants obviously just, it's not even hurt by the Giants because, like, I'm a Packers fan. I get my hopes up every year for the Packers to get my heart torn out. The Giants is more so like a slow, painful death. Like, every day is pretty slow. Like, they just cut you a little bit more, and then by September 20th, like, you got nothing left. And I know a lot of our buddies, there's not much left. But, I mean, we're sticking with them. Rolling in the A's series. Pretty good offense. I'll give it to the A's. Underrated team. I think they come in like winning 7 out of 11. JP Sears on the bump. Offense looks embarrassing again. Robbie Ray kind of gets touched up. Are you at all concerned with Ray? We'll start with Ray there.
I mean, the A's offense has been one of the best in the league the second half. I mean, they hit the ball out of the yard more than anybody right now. I mean, he went 4.1. They had sluggers out there. I mean, it's hard. Every pitcher's going to have an off day. I'm not too worried about him. The only thing that's a little concerning to me is his 3-pitch mix out of a starting pitcher. It could be a little easier to catch on as a hitter without a changeup from a lefty. But, I mean, he throws heat, and not a lot of teams are going to catch up to that heat. So I'm not too worried about him. He pitched great against the Dodgers. 1 outing. I mean, you can't define a player by that. So I think that I don't think we need to worry about him too much. I think he's going to be just fine going forward.
I agree, and that should come as kind of a shocker to our viewers. I mean, we're not overreacting right now. I mean, as level-headed, I completely agree with Jake there. I mean, Ray, he's a Cy Young winner. You saw what he did to the Dodgers. I mean, he missed a couple spots. He gave up 3 or 4 solo shots. He gave up 3 home runs. I mean, that's not normal from him. He still struck out 4. Stuff was good. He didn't throw awesome, threw 61 strikes and 94 pitches. Not too concerned. And again, when that's your fifth starter, it's a big luxury to have. On the other side, what I am concerned about, this offense is fucking embarrassing, dude. I mean, Ramos goes 1 for 3, gets ejected. Patrick Bailey 2 for 4, awesome game. Luciano ropes a double, but there was nothing cooking today. Is it fair to say that you can 100% tap the red buzzer and say we have a problem offensively in San Francisco?
12 strikeouts. I mean, there's got to be something we can do to limit these strikeouts. I mean, anything at this point. I mean, new hitting coach, maybe like new players, like not get rid of your only player that's hitting, or like, you know. We need something now because the rotation's here and it's not going to get any better. And if we want a chance at the playoffs, it's got to be now. So selling off Soler was really not the play in my opinion. I think you could have gone any other route besides Soler because he's the only guy heating up for us. So, I mean, our team strikes out more than anybody right now. It's rough on that side of things. I mean, yeah, whenever the pitching's great, the offense finds a way to lack, vice versa. So, very confusing squad. Something's got to fix, and it's got to be quick.
It's got to give eventually, and it's just so frustrating to watch these guys take at-bats. It's the most selfish, like, as we were watching the game today, it's a pretty, I don't know if it's intentionally, if selfish is the right word, but they don't know how to win. And I think that's partly on Melvin. Like, it's 1-0. This is the second game of the series. Webb's throwing a CG, putting his balls on the line for this team, and we've got guys, who was it? Wisely, Wade, both having not very good games, stepping out of the way on balls, hitting them. And, like, I get it's a business
Bailey
and your body. Yeah, Bailey did it too. It's business. Your body's kind of your billboard, like your moneymaker. But frickin', your guy's out there through 8 innings. You've given him 1 run on a sac fly. Can we take a ball off our thigh and try to manufacture a run?
I mean, seriously, we were really complaining about that a lot earlier. So I'm sure a lot of college guys, a lot of guys that are actually in there to win it rather than there for the paycheck are going to make that call and just stay in there and get hit by that because, I mean, you got bases juice with nobody out rather than 2 outs in like a 2-2 count. I mean, there's got to be things that change. I mean, we only struck out 3 times that game. That's good. But, I mean, Ross Stripling's special needs. So you can't let him go as deep as he did into the ball game. I mean, 3 strikeouts, but at what cost? 3-4 hits in the game. So the offense has been the most bipolar thing I've ever seen as of the second half. So
and we live in California.
Yeah, and what's going to change?
Yeah.
What's going to change
is
the real question.
Ross Stripling is, I'll say it right, he's a joke. Like, he's not a good pitcher. He couldn't make it on this team. Like, he was our worst player. He was worse than Jackson last year. I think it's fair. Yeah. Stripling came in with a 2-9 record with, like, almost 6. I don't know if it was above 6 before tonight. I mean, he shoved tonight. But he ends with a 5.64 ERA. Stripling doesn't belong on a field with this team, and he's just making us look foolish. Thank God we were golfing today and didn't get to see it. I just want to see this team manufacture some runs. Like, they literally... I don't know what your magic number is. I think, seriously, straight-faced, the magic number to win games with this rotation bullpen is 3 runs. And you should be able to do that against anybody. You score 3 runs, you're going to have a shot to win. So if it's bunting a guy over, playing small ball until you get out of this funk, I mean, I think you have to do it. Would you agree?
Definitely. I mean, pitching's there, as we said. I mean, hitting's just got to do a little bit of something. I mean, 3 is not asking for much a game, but if that's what it takes to win, then get out there and do it. Because... you're the one holding the slack, so.
Yeah, no, it's the time to go now. It's July 31st. You'll wake up tomorrow. You'll be listening to this August 1st. Can't F around or we're going to find out. We're finding out right now. 4 games out of a playoff spot, 4.5. I haven't looked after the win tonight. It's now. We got the White Sox coming up. We got the Tigers. I mean, all winnable games with this rotation. Steal some games. I'm excited about the future. I know Jake's excited about the future. Thank you for tuning in. Keep staying tuned. Follow us on Twitter at Giant Hot Takes. We'd appreciate the follow there. Please like and subscribe this podcast. Share it with any other Giants friends. Wanted to thank one more time our buddy Mike for hopping on at Cool Sports Name. Check the description to follow us on our socials on Linktree and to follow Mike. I'm Jack.
And I'm Jake.
We're signing out.